Tell the truth.
Information is power.
What's up, everybody? Peace. Peace to everyone out there listening. Thank you for your patience and waiting for the program. And I got to say this and say this emphatically. I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, all the brothers and everyone that's on YouTube that is a father. Happy Father's Day to you, everybody around the world, in the communities across this country, wherever you are in your local area. Happy Father's Day to you, no matter who you are. The most important thing is, are you in the life of your child? Are you supporting your child financially, spiritually, emotionally? Are you in the life of your child? This is what this is about today, as I'm going to talk about a few things. This may be a reminder to some of you who are aware of these statistics and these datas before, and this will be enlightening to some of you out there who may not be familiar with what I'm about to say. Let me say to the BS3 family, thank you for supporting the program, and those of you that are watching on Roku TV.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download BS3 today. Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts.
All right, everybody. All right, changing the way you listen to podcasts. Back on it. So do me a favor, everyone in the audience that's watching right now, put a 7 in the chat room. Let me know if you can hear me, if my mic is working, if everything's working fine. I want to thank everyone that has been supporting the Information Man show, everything that I've been doing. as well as my other platforms that I work on. I really appreciate you. What I've done today is I'm going to have potentially a open panel to have people come up and speak about the issue of fathers and what the importance of a father is in the life of children. But particularly, we're talking about Black fathers, because I'm going to be honest, in general, fathers don't get enough credit for what they do. But in most of all, Black men who are fathers, we go unrecognized in terms of society and the way society stereotypes who we are and our involvement in our children's life. What they usually do is they take the minimum of us that are not doing the right thing for our family and for our children, and we take the minimum of those Black men that are doing nothing, and we make them the maximum. We take the maximum of Black men that are truly fathers in the life of their kids, doing the right thing, and we minimize them, and we go with narratives about Black men based on a small sample size of Black men who do not represent all Black men. Certainly, any man can have a baby. You can be a sperm donor, but to be a father in the life of your child is more important. And I'm going to tell you why. Some of the stereotypes that you've heard over the years is that Black men are not in the household with their kids, so therefore Black men are not involved with their kids. That can be further from the truth. Okay, there are Black men that, whether they're married to the mother of the child or whether they're living in the household or not, they are still involved in the child's life. One of the things that's been a big issue is the issue around family courts and family and child support. And there are some men who are in child support court and they want to see their kid and they can't see their kid for whatever the reasons, whatever is going on. They're not able to see their child, but yet they're paying child support. There are men who have been involved with women for years, and the woman might have lied and said, this is your child. And then they find out after all these years that it's not their child, and they're still made to pay child support because there's been a bond that they've made with that child. So there's a lot of issues around family court and how men get judged and get looked at compared to the female counterpart. And I'm just here to say that I don't think it's right that if you have men who really want to be in the life of their child, they're saying, hey, I'm paying child support, but I want to be in the life of my child emotionally, physically, the whole nine yard. And remember, when you get married, you enter into a contract with the state. So now you've automatically said that I want the state to interfere in my relationship between me and the wife. And it's sad when you go through a divorce because children are the main ones that get affected by divorce, as we as adults fight over who's going to get this, who's going to get that. But the most important thing for men to do, no matter what the family dynamics are between you and the mother, you need to find a way as best as possible to still be in the life of your child, although there are obstacles sometimes thrown in the way. There are men out there who get 50-50 custody, and that is fantastic. I have 50-50 custody of my child, so I don't have a lot of drama. But if you can get that custody before it gets to being court, you see. So there's men. I'm speaking upon this because there are men out there today who are not able to see their child and want to see their child because they have not been deadbeat fathers. See, that's a word that gets thrown around. There are men out there, Black men in particular, that are not deadbeat fathers, but may not be able to see their child for whatever the personal issues that's going on with the mother, who might have full custody of the child for whatever the reasons are. Okay. Also, let's recognize the fact that there are men out there that are also single fathers, meaning they don't have a wife. They don't have a significant other. Maybe the wife passed away. Maybe there was a situation with the wife or the girlfriend where they were unfit to have custody of the child, and they have custody of the child. Last time I checked, I think that's between 4 and 5% of men, Black men in particular, I'm talking about here, who have full custody of their or taking care of their kids as single fathers. Okay. Now, I want to say this. and I don't want the ladies to be upset by what I'm going to say, but it's just a fact. Sometimes ladies will say that they are a single mother, even though they know that the father of the child is actively involved in the child's life, meaning he's paying child support. He's spending time with the child. He sees the child. He buys the child gifts. He's paying, maybe he has the child on his medical. He's doing certain things. So although the ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend, although she sees herself as a single woman, meaning single as in she doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend, you are not single in the sense that you don't have anyone helping you raise your son or your daughter. So we have to get out of this language, because sometimes when they do these statistics and they say, well, black men are not involved in their kids' life, when we're being polled by people and we're saying things like, I'm a single mother, then they document that as, oh, there's no father in the life of that child. So if the father is an active participant financially, spiritually, and emotionally in the child's life, you're not a single mother in the sense that you're raising the child by yourself if you're getting help by the father of that child. You may be single in terms of relationships, but not. But that's a word that's used, I believe, too much in our community. If a man is actively involved in the child's life, whether the mother has full custody of the child, whether they're married or not. So we have to make a distinction when we use those types of words. I want to thank everybody out there in the chat room that's watching the program. As I'm going to say, I'm a father. And I don't have drama, because I do have full custody of my child. I am actively involved financially, emotionally, the whole 9 yard. And I'm involved when it comes to school and some of the statistics out there. And I want to show you a few things. I'm going to put a few things, and I want to say peace to Tony D. I want to pay peace to Queen. I know I am. Red Lipstick, thank you for coming over, saying Happy Father's Day. Empress Goddess, thank you for coming over. Another CG, Old Reliable. Cooking at Pam. What's going on? Cooking with Pam. I'm so glad to see you over here. Ladies, everybody check out her channel. She's got a big channel. She's grown her channel. I think she's got about, 100,000 subs over there. She does shorts. She does long form content. She does various recipes on various dish that she cooks, really down to earth type food. And I've known her a long time. She's been on the YouTube streets a long time, and she's really has worked hard at building her channel, her content, just doing a fantastic job on your channel. I give you all but kudos. I give you all the kudos, I mean. So definitely check her out. Cooking with Pam. I'm glad to at Pam's place. Let me correct that. Cooking at Pam's place. Thank you for coming over. I just want to say that there are black men in particular out here that are family men, that are stand-up men. I know a lot of brothers out here who go unrecognized and unnoticed. When we think about black men, we tend to think about the downtrodden. Black men being in prison, black men that are being in gang activity, black men on these negative levels. And I want to say to all the black men, everyone out there, we must define our image for ourselves. We know that there's a lot of things going on in society today where people are trying to redefine what a man is, what people's genders are. We as black men have to define our characteristics, who we are for ourselves. So we must use the bully pulpit of a social media like this, whatever medium that we like using. We must push out the narratives that we want out there, and don't forget about what other people are trying to do. We recognize and know what they're doing. So therefore, it's on us and our responsibility to put the narratives out there that we know are the true narratives. What I want to do is I want to read you some things here that's very important. And I've got data that I'm going to put in the chat room. Now, years ago, I think between 2006 and 2013, CDC did a study in which they debunked a lot of stuff, a lot of issues around black fathers' involvement in their children's life. Now, I'm not saying, because I know everyone has a story to tell, has an experience. Obviously, there are men out there of all races, not just black men, of all races that are deadbeat fathers, not doing what they're supposed to do. They're out there. But we've got to stop, in this case, taking that sample size, as I said, and making that small sample size the norm for all black men. First of all, you can't even take your anecdotal experience, meaning your personal experience, to say, well, this is what all black men are, no more than what we can say what all black women are. You can only go based on your personal experience in your life to judge what you went through, but you cannot piggyback that for every black man walking around, because there are certainly black men that are responsible men. They're leaders in the community, leaders in their family, leaders in everything that they do, and they exemplify it by how they walk, how they move, talk, and ease that they move, what they move with. They exemplify it with their involvement with their kids. Do you know that there are black men in this country who have kids of their own, and they take up of their own time to raise or work with other kids in activities such as sports? See, so ask yourself this. You have black men that are coaches, black men that are teachers. You have black men that are spending time with other people's kids. You have black men that spend time mentoring other kids that are not their kids biologically in the community. You got a brother, and I'm going to go over that story. I'm going to try to get this brother on my channel because Vicky Diller was interviewing this brother in Chicago who's a teacher. He was a principal of the school. He has won all sorts of awards in Chicago as a teacher. And he was managing a school, and he called out white teachers who were not doing what they're supposed to do to educate our kids. And now they're trying to throw him out of the school. When you talk about Chicago, when people talk about Chicago, they focus on the violence. They focus on the negativities, but they forget. They always say, well, what are they doing in Chicago? You have brothers like that. I'm going to try to get in contact with him and see if I can get him on this show to tell his story. You have black men that are out there in the trenches, walking over the piss and the glass on the ground, risking their own life at some point in time, in some cases, with trying to work with youth in some of our most difficult communities. As teachers, as mentors. Now, I've worked in my organization. I've been involved in programs where we've mentored young men, where we assign them to a black man who is involved in a vocation, the academics, the job, the career that they themselves are interested in being in. So we pair them up with a black doctor, a black man who's an accountant, a black man that's a lawyer, a black man that's a construction worker, a black man who's a businessman. Pair them up. I remember when I was in college, my organization, I met a black man, great family man. He's no longer with us. He worked as a professor at UC Berkeley. He's in my organization. And when you look at the chemistry chart, he discovered there's the last three elements in the chemistry chart are man-made elements. A lot of people don't know that a black man is the one that came up with those last three elements in the chemistry chart. So what I'm saying is that you have black men doing all sorts of fantastic things in this world that I don't think that they get enough credit for. And you have black men that are raising not only their own kids, but in some cases raising other people's kids. What about black men? And there's some on YouTube that would say, hey, that's being a simp. What about black men who take on the children? They meet a woman and they take on the responsibilities of raising those children plus their own from a relationship that woman had previously. So black men take on all different tasks, all different situations, but we don't get the credit that we deserve. Now, I want to go over here and I want to show you something. You see, this black man right here is working with his son on his education. There has been statistics about how much black men are involved. Now, remember the study from CDC. I think New York Times columnist Charles Blow previously took on the myth, okay, that much of the ideas at the Center for the Disease Control, CDC, and prevention data that showed that 71.5% of black and non-Hispanic children, this was back in 2013, were born to unmarried women compared to 29.3% of white non-Hispanic children. But as Josh Lewis pointed out in his new book, all in 2.5 million of 4.2 million black men. Let me repeat that again, because this has got to stick today, ladies and gentlemen. All in One. He wrote a book called All in One. This is by Josh Lewis, Levs, pointed out in his new book, All in One, that 2.5 million of 4.2 million black fathers, or about 59.5%, live with their children. The numbers suggest that it's not true, as CDC figures suggest that 71.5% of black dads are absent from their homes, but rather that many of them are simply unmarried and maybe still unmarried, but involved in the life of their children. And when black fathers do live with their children, they're just as if not more likely to be involved in their kids' everyday lives. Charles Blow cited the CDC data that showed black fathers are more likely than their white counterparts or Hispanic counterparts to eat with their children, feed them, eat with them, bathe them, diaper them, dress them, play with them, as you see him playing with his son right there, and read to their children on a daily basis. While some of the differences in the data aren't statistically significant, the figures indicate that black dads are at least as likely to remain involved in their children's lives as those of other races. And see, this is what people don't want to talk about, because what we've done is that we have been culturally conditioned to focus on the low-hanging fruit of black men that are irresponsible. And I'm not denying that they're not irresponsible black men out there, but hell, there are irresponsible white men out there. There's irresponsible Asian men out there. There's irresponsible Latinx men out there. There's irresponsibility all across the board. But what we do is we always frame it as it's a black problem only. And the reason why we frame it this way, and I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil, the reason why we frame it this way is because psychologically, deeply in the psychological core of our minds, we have a lack of respect for ourselves as black people. I'm sorry, I got to be honest with you. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And because of that, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, because of that self-hate, we project hate onto one another. So therefore, we don't really like one another. Therefore, anything that's negative about one another, we magnify it 10 times to 20 times more. This happens when we get up here on the YouTube streets and we talk about black women a certain way. We talk about black men a certain way. The reason why there's so much negativity focused on either whether it be black women talking negatively about black men and black men talking negatively about black women is simply it's simple psychology. We do not like each other. We have a lot of issues as a people that goes way back to Jim Crow, Reconstruction, okay, the racism in America and how they depicted us in very negative ways, caricatures that they depicted us as. And so when we look at ourselves, we get caught up into, I don't like myself. I'm too dark. I'm too this. My lips are too big. We are more than any other people. We have really been psychologically impacted by this whole issue around how we look. We get caught up in colorism. We keep that crap going and transferring that back to our youngest generations coming up. So now they're continuing the same conversations and the same behavior. As I said before, as I quote Joe Madison, in America, we see white as superior and black as inferior. And as a manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we will underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize black people. The larger society does it to us, and then we do it to ourselves. This is why it's very easy to make these stereotypes about black men not being involved in the life of their children. And we will accept the stereotype without questioning it, and we'll accept it mainly because of our own anecdotal experiences, meaning if you had a bad experience as a woman with a black man who stepped out on you, who did not live up to his responsibilities, and vice versa with black men having a bad experience with black women, because of that already self-hate that's ingrained, it's easy for us to lash out at one another and focus on the negatives. And when it's happening, when we've had bad experiences with one another, it's easier to crystallize that bad experience and get on these social media platforms and spouse out that black men are not nothing. Spouse out things like don't have black babies, delete the black babies, and say those sort of things. And you know who talks like this on these YouTube streets. So it's easy for people to spouse these things out and get an audience that will follow you, because the old saying is hurt people hurt people.
Tell the truth.
So you already come to these YouTube streets. You already come to society already deeply hurt. And this is why it makes it easy for people overall within our community and even outside of our community to say this is what black men are, that they're no good, that they're not fathers, they don't raise their kids, based on the sample size of those that are not doing the right thing. And then you blanket that on all of us, which is wrong. Let me go back in here and give you some more data, because I think this is a very, 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 very important for me to get into this. And I am going to drop that study from CDC from those years ago. Now, CDC report on fathers involved proves that black dads are most involved, and Pew Research Center reported that. So not only did you have CDC, but you had Pew Research, PEW Research Center reported that the role of the American dad is changing in America. Okay. According to the study by the Center for Disease Control, black fathers were the most involved in their children, no matter if they lived in the household, like this brother right here, involved in his child's life, whether they lived in a household or not, and are more likely to read to them. And I said that. Check this out. Over 50% of moms and dads reported that parenthood is an essential part of their identity. 2, dads are spending more time on childcare, homework. You see what I'm saying? This is what's going on today. Now, to give you some perspective on this, this was first reported in 2018, June 16, 2018. This still remains relevant today. Don't get it twisted. Okay? Don't get it twisted. 48% of working fathers would rather be home with their children instead of working. Once again, the article is Carjay Scott, ED, a doctor of education. CDC reports on fathers' involvement. I will put that in the chat room if it can fit in there. I will drop that in the chat room right now, if there's enough room for it to go in there, because I want you all to be a part of the program and what's going on with the program right now. Let's continue. 58%, as I put this up here, 58% of moms and dads rank value and morals higher than discipline, emotional support, and income when asked which was extremely important for children. They believe it was discipline, emotional support, and an income to take care of a child. Very interesting. Check this out. 70% of Americans say that it is important for the baby to bond with mom and dad. And black fathers, check this out. This is where black fathers rank. Black fathers at 70% were most involved in the bathing. As I said before, at 70%, black fathers are most involved in the bathing, the dressing of their child. This is real talk here. Diaper changing, helping their children use the toilet every day, compared with white men at 60%, Hispanics at fathers at 45%. On this Father's Day, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember that dads in our lives and appreciate the love and guidance and support that your father, if you had a father that was on his P's and Q's. Let's remember the hard work that fathers do in their involvement with their children, raising their children, getting out there and working and supporting. You know, there's a lot of black men. I got to say this because we forget about that generation. We have our issues with that generation, but I got to tell the truth. We forget that the baby boomer generation of black men, that's a generation of black men who worked to the bones till they actually literally no longer lived anymore, to do whatever it was to take care of their families, whether it be work 3 and 4 jobs, whatever it takes to sacrifice. You know, as a parent, as a father, it is your job. I'm sorry, you signed up for it the minute you decided you wanted to have a child or a child is born. Your job as a parent, but as a father, is that you must sacrifice your needs for the better needs of the child. I'm going to say it again. You must sacrifice your needs for the better needs of the child. That is what's more important here. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I got about 32 or 34 people watching. Isn't that a shame that I'm talking about black fathers and you can't get a decent audience? Those of you that are here are decent. Don't get me wrong. You're fantastic. I give you a clap. But I think it's a shame that we're talking about black fathers and you won't get a crowd for that. You won't get a large number of people that will come over. But if I was talking about something more polarizing, some news issue, or someone got harmed by one of these cops, you get a lot of people that come over and listen to that. I just find it interesting. I just find it very, very interesting. Let me put Pam's statement up here, see what she's saying. I appreciate her coming over. And definitely sacrifice you want for the needs and wants of your child. Yeah. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that women do not sacrifice, if not more, for their children, and do not work extra jobs and do not do the things to take care of their kids, whether the father is there or not. I'm certainly not trying to make that make that narrative here. But I'm simply saying, if you have a father, an uncle, someone in your family that is a father who's doing all the right things, pick up the phone today if you have not already and tell them how you feel about them. Give them praise, give them love. I think I appreciate everyone that's done that. What's going on, Trap Vision? What's going on? Much respect to you. But I gotta say, maybe it's Father's Day and people are still out with their kids. I get it, but I just find it. I've been doing Father's Day shows every year, and every year, you don't see as much when we do these kind of shows. You don't get the same support. That's just what I've been noticing in these YouTube streets. How you doing, Just Alicia? She said, yeah, that might be the case. Yeah, it might be the case. People are out. It's in the evening. Hey, Black Star Sports TV. What's going on? Thank you, Black Star Sports TV. I appreciate you. It's just amazing. I can drop a video about Coach Sanders on Father's Day. Oh, the views just run up like water gushing out on the other channel. It's interesting to me. Very interesting to me. But I really appreciate you all coming over. And we got my man right here in the house, Snowman Multimedia, saying, what's up? Hey, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? Thank you for coming over. Thinking about I may have a panel just to hear what brothers have to say about Father's Day, their opinions. Let me do one thing. I was supposed to invite Black Man Unfiltered, and I want to see. I think he's busy with his family today. Obviously, it would be evening time where he is, but let me send out a link to him and see what happens, because I'll probably make this a short stream, given the fact that people with family, people are out there with their fathers, which is a beautiful thing. Let me put this in here real quick. There we go. And let me, and hopefully he'll get this. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank everybody. Trap Vision, Yalpo. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop a link down in the chat room. And any of the brothers who would like to come up and say a few words as it relates to men. And it doesn't matter if you're not a father, meaning you don't have children, because maybe you had a father in your life that meant the world to you and was very positive for you, or any men in your life who exemplified fatherly qualities is very important. So I dropped that in there. I'll see if Black Men Unfiltered gets the link. I talked to him the other day ago, but I think he might be pretty busy with his family, which, he should be. It's Father's Day, and we should enjoy. We've got, let me see, Jay the Informant. What's going on, Jay Informant? Good to see you over here. Yalpo. It's always great to see you, brother. You're right. Info sad, but true. Yeah. It's a sad look. Last week I did a show about another show. I can get hundreds of people over here, and I just think I've done these shows every year, and I've had people on, and it's been the same way for whatever the reasons are. Let's bring on Trap Vision right now. What's going on, brother?
Info man, what's going on, bro?
Happy Father's Day to you, if you are a father.
Yes, sir. I'm actually at McDonald's with two of my kids. We're about to go watch Flash. About to go watch the
Oh
Flash
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was just happened to be on YouTube, and I was watching everybody celebrating everything else, man. But I wanted to say this. When it comes to Father's Day, and I've noticed this, I went to church today, and there were a lot of people. It was outpouring of, hey, happy Father's Day and stuff like that.
Yes,
But I
sir.
noticed that like they had donuts and stuff, and I cracked a joke. I said, okay, so for Father's Day they give us diabetes and sugars, but for Mother's Day they get flowers and steak dinners. And I said, I need to talk to the pastor about this. Just cracking jokes, but like honestly, there's a vibe across everything. There's like you can just pull up to a restaurant. There's no like reservations that need to be made versus Mother's Day. And again, I heard what you're saying. Mothers do need to be celebrated because they're doing stuff. But dude, I've been a dad in my kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm a blended father. So I have two children that's not mine biologically, but I've been there for over 20 years. So you don't get that. You in my experience, that's what you're supposed to do as a man. So keep it moving. Don't expect anything other than
Right.
that. But
see, this is the thing though. You're unique. You are unique because there are a lot of brothers like yourself who are involved in a blended family situation where you have kids, your significant other has kids, and you're raising both your kids and you're involved in their kids' life as well. And there's a lot of black men. There's a lot of men in general, but specifically a lot of black men who are doing those things and doing it successfully. And that's why I was saying that we tend to look at black men who are doing things negatively, which we should look at that, but we tend to make them the poster child for how we see black men going forward. That's been one of our Achilles heel. And it seems that you can say negative things about black men, and it's okay. It's okay. We can dump on us, and it's okay. Because see, men in general and black men, we're not a protective group. Women are a protective group. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Anything you do or say about women, you're gonna catch some type of some kind of hell, some penalty. Someone's gonna right. But you can say anything about men, whether you're wrong or right.
yeah,
Stereotypical things, and it's okay. This is why, and this is another thing I don't like trap vision, and I don't want the ladies in the chat room to take this the wrong way, but I've said this before in the past. I do not like when on Father's Day, when I hear women, I don't care what race they are, say, Happy Father's Day to me. I'm the father and the mother. No, you're the mother. You can't be a father because you're not a man, and you don't have the essence or the skill set that a real man, I'm talking about real men, not these $5 hamburger guys. Real men have in terms of the qualities that is necessary to know how to raise a young man. Women can, how can I say this? Women can raise their sons, but my argument is that can they really raise them to be a man in a sense of what manhood is? You really need men to do that. That's why you can have single mothers who raise a son, like a black son, a son. What do these sons usually gravitate towards, Trap Vision? Sports. Because in sports, whether it be basketball or football, they're trying to get something that their mother can't give them, which is the element of men working with them in a sports arena. Because if you notice, especially a lot of our people, you have a lot of these kids, some of them, not all, who may come from a single parent family or mother, and they always, in general, will gravitate towards the sport arena, football, basketball, whatever, because young men still have a need to what do you call it? Rites of passage. They still have a need to connect to men. This is why sometimes you'll see some of our youth who will unfortunately get themselves in gang activity because they're looking up to what? Other male that they're looking up to, these could be youth, whether it be negative or positives. Go ahead, Trap Vision.
No,
You got it, brother.
I agree with you. I will say this. I'm gonna leave on this note. That argument about, women claiming Father's Day and stuff like that. I've been in that situation. And I will tell my story at a later date, but I've been in a similar situation. A woman can celebrate Women's Day or Mother's Day. You can't celebrate both. You know what I'm saying? Because there are things that you can't teach a son. Like I tell my wife this, she knows this. There's certain things, certain aspects that my kids can't learn from her. They could and I know there's a lot of single women. There are, and they do the best they can. And I understand. And I give them a lot of, credit and kudos for what they do, but you cannot. Yes. I don't agree with that. You cannot claim, hey, happy Father's Day to me, because there was women that were saying it on Facebook today. And I was like, nope, I'm not subscribing to that. That's foolishness. You cannot claim Father's Day. Let fathers, even the bad fathers, listen, I learned from a horrible father. I was adopted. You know what I'm saying? My dad abandoned me. You feel what I'm saying? So my adopted father stepped in. However, I learned how to be a man from uncles, from other men. You get these examples from other places, but women, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you get Mother's Day. Yes, I give you credit. And if you're doing it by yourself, I'll most definitely give you credit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how hard that is. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I have cousins. I have all type of relatives that have been in that situation. However, you cannot do that. But when it comes to Father's Day and just men, and I'm going to say this, Black men being celebrated right now, we're a hunted species to be destroyed, decimated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking at it today. I was watching how many, do you know the depression rate? Put your seatbelt on. Depression rate of Black men during this time? Like, it's not even you getting a pat on the back like, hey, good job. It's like you're being destroyed. Like, oh, you're supposed to do that. That's what a man does. You're supposed to take care of your kids. I said, okay. Well, a woman is supposed to take care of her children as well. Like,
I think that the minute you have children, women or men, it is our responsibility to take care of our kids, period.
Yep.
So you can make an argument that we really shouldn't be looking for validation, either women or men, because it's what you're supposed to do. The minute you decide to have children, it becomes your responsibility, a natural responsibility. Look, even animals and bugs and insects raise their own offspring. Ain't nobody giving them no claps. Now I'm being funny here.
That is
I'm being funny here, and I'm not minimizing the importance of mothers. I think we do need to celebrate what we do within our Black communities, because we get enough negativity about what's happening in some of our communities. So sometimes I think it is important to celebrate that. I just don't think you don't see men, Black men in particular, when they are single parents saying, I'm the mama and I'm the daddy. You just don't see it.
That is
and
true.
So, and I think, and I'm going to go back to what I said before. I think a lot of the things that we do in our communities, some of our communities, has a lot to do with a lot of psychological issues that Black people have with respecting one another and even liking one another. I think there's some deep rooted. I think it's something that it's an issue that many of us do not want to tackle or admit to. So, Trap Vision, I thank you for coming on, brother. I know you're with your family.
All right, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Enjoy your Father's Day, man.
Antoine, what's going on, brother?
Information, long time. It's been a while. What's good, man?
Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming over. Once again, I'm gonna just be honest with you. My audience has got to hear this. I've been on a lot of different channels with Black men where we've had these kind of discussions about what Black men go through and Father's Day types like this. And it's the same thing. When Black men have these kind of programs, there's very little support. In general.
That is so
when you
true.
have this topic about Black men being fathers, it just doesn't resonate with people wanting to come over and watch it in large numbers. And I think it's a sad commentary. I think everybody that's watching right now, I appreciate you all in the chat room, everyone watching in the clouds, but it really speaks. Now, yeah, maybe people are with their family, so they'll watch the replay. I give you that. But I've been doing this for a while, man. Over the years that I've done these kind of shows with brothers that I've had on, like I've had panels, it's the same results. Go right ahead, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Yeah.
And this is my first time chiming in on your show on Father's Day. I've watched
I appreciate
the show
you.
a couple of times before. I chimed in on the chat and everything else. I never had a chance to come out to a panel. Of course, you and I go back to Max V,
Yes.
and
Yes,
everything
sir.
else as well. So to me, Father's Day is always important because my dad was in my life. My dad's still in my life.
Okay.
My parents have been married for 53 years. So I know what it's like to have that strong black man
53 years.
in your life from day one. And I know my dad was never perfect on a lot of things, but he was always there. That's the one thing I can always say. Me, my brother, and my sister can always say, my dad has always been there. And even though he's retired, he's still there. I still call my dad from time to time on certain advice when it comes to trying to get things done financially, or even sometimes just some dad advice. I'll call him, or I'll call my brother, or I'll call some of my cousins who are also dads and everything. So I know what it's like to have strong black men in your life. My dad, my godfather, my uncles, older cousins, I know what that's like. And that's a beautiful thing.
Well, let me ask you the opposite question then here. What do you think your life would be like if you did not have the presence of your father or the uncles or those that have been great examples? What do you think? How do you think your life would be different? Maybe that's the question I'm asking.
Wow. To be honest, I don't know, and I try not to think about that. I really don't. As I consider myself lucky and blessed. What basically got me jump started on the type of person that I am when it comes to fatherhood per se is my wife's the oldest of 10. And when their mom passed away some time back, my wife and I were engaged to get married. I helped her raise her 7 brothers and sisters. 2 of her brothers are mentally disabled. And I've been that constant male figure in their life for a very long time. Very long time. I practically helped raise her brothers. And I was always hard on them because they needed that. And I remember the one thing I told my wife when we were dating, and when she told me her brothers, I told her this one thing, and I've always been consistent. I'm going to give to your brothers what I got growing up. A strong black man with a foot in their ass. My dad is still alive. He still has his foot in my ass. My uncle, God rest his soul, passed away a very long time. He was definitely a second father to me. He still had.
Well, we know that black men are responsible for stabilizing the community. Those are the type of black men. I said this one time on a panel, brother. I think we need more James Evans. I hope that brother's okay. There's been some talk about what's happened to him. They're talking about he's been elderly abused, but brother James Evans of Good Times, we need some James Evans fathers around here. That's what we need.
We need some James Evans. We need some Cliff Huxtables. We need some Uncle Phils. We need some, oh wow, you can name it. We need some Carl Winslows. we need the best way I can describe my late uncle. Imagine James Earl Jones with a thick French accent. That was that was my late uncle.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe him. And one thing that showed.
Go ahead.
Oh, continue. Okay. The one thing I always remember about my uncle, every time I would go to visit, he never asked how you were doing. He never said, "Hey, how's it going?" First 2 words you always heard come out of his mouth. How's school? That's it.
He valued education.
How's school? Exactly. How's school? And then he'll ask you what you did during the week in your particular subjects. What are you doing next week? So on and so forth. He would always give you the nth degree when it came to school. And then when he felt like he heard what he needed to hear, then he'll ask how you're doing. But he was always strong in education, strong on it all the time, all the
Let,
time.
let me pull this up by Water Sniper. I appreciate you coming over. Water Sniper, you've been following me for a number of years now. He says this: it's so much negative propaganda pushed into the media about black fathers. We have been trained to look at black fatherhood as nothing. It's like, yeah, another day, do what you're supposed to do. What do you think about the statement that Water Sniper just dropped into the chat room that I wanted to pull up? I pulled up there. What is your thoughts about that, sir?
No, he makes a valid point. He makes a very valid point. People thinking, well, you're supposed to be doing that. Okay. It goes back to that skit that I remember Chris Rock did in one of his comedy specials. I think it was either Bigger and Blacker or Bring the Pain, talking about fatherhood. And how and Chris Rock always talked about how his father was a very strong influence in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes valid points because we do give a lot of praise to a lot of sisters who are mothers, and no disrespect. All right. I was raised by a strong black woman, just like I was raised by a strong black man as well. And they work together to make my brother, sister, me to who we are. So I feel like, and I hope a lot of sisters don't take this the wrong way, I feel like a few sisters have taken that, how do I put it, this women's liberation, how to stand on their own, they've taken it to a level that they weren't supposed to take it. And it's become their battle cry, that they're hill to die on. Be a strong black woman, I don't need a man, yada, yada, yada. And the one thing my wife has always said, and the one thing we're teaching our daughters, is not to depend on a man financially. And I think that is really going on because some sisters can stand on their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I feel like they've taken it to a level to where they feel like we are no longer needed or we are no longer valued.
Well, let me just say this. Let me say peace to a sexy slim goddess. There was somebody else that was in here. Lisa says what? I appreciate you. Lisa says what? Yalpo. Everybody, Bronze Flat Power God. I appreciate everybody in the chat room that's here. Let me say this. This is what we're being affected by as black people. And you guys can let me know if you agree or disagree or whatever. I think what's happening in our society is that what I said earlier, the idea of what a woman and what a man is being redefined before our very eyes, reality, right? And I think what's happening is that men in general, we're trying to figure out, where are we relevant? Are we relevant anymore? Because gender identity is being changed. What it is to be a man and a woman is being manipulated as I speak. And then you have to say, where is the role that the man plays? Now, a long time ago, before women were able to go into the workplace and earn their own money and go to school the whole 9 yards, men actually knew what their roles were. You are the breadwinner. You are to go to work. You're to take care of a family.
You're the protector and the provider.
The protector and the provider. And women were to be taken care of, the family. I think the more independent that people have become, and the fact that they're also changing what it is to be a man and a woman in a society, I think that men and our value and our youth, what we represent, the whole dynamic has been switched and changed. And I think some men who are called, or what you call classic men, who are old school, they don't fit into the paradigm that we're living in today. Me and you, your father, my father, they could not survive in this paradigm.
Facts.
Me and you and any black man, any men listening, we're simply trying to figure out how to adapt to this paradigm. We're trying to figure out how to maneuver around it. But the older generation, they would never be able to survive and adapt to this.
Oh, so true indeed. So true.
So
indeed.
we are, it's like they're terraforming us into something else, brother.
It's like, I remember Max and I talked about this some time ago on his show. It's almost as if being confident and being an alpha man is a negative thing. And I'll be honest, at one point, I don't remember how long ago it was, at one point, I kind of try to play down those alpha that alpha personality, because it always seemed like you were a knuckle dragging Neanderthal. You didn't know anything, so on and so forth. And my best friend, God rest his soul, he passed away some time ago. He passed away right after holidays, or after the holidays, for my youngest was born. He was the one to tell me, like, yo, embrace your inner alpha, embrace your inner alpha. And what he meant by that is there's nothing wrong being confident. There's
Right.
nothing wrong having that assurance. There's nothing wrong knowing where you stand. And if people don't like it, that's their problem. Don't make it
Right.
yours.
Now,
And
now let me read this real quick because Lisa says what I love her. Check out her channel, everybody. She has a beautiful channel. She touches on a lot of different issues. She said this: my father pushed all of his girls to be independent, and my dad was born in 1931. So let me make this point here. I don't think there's anything wrong with a father or a family teaching your kids to be independent and teaching ladies to be independent. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, Lisa says what? I bet you that even though your father taught you to be independent, I bet you your father still valued family and the importance of man and woman developing family and a structure. I'm pretty sure you can still be an independent woman, an independent man,
right,
but everything that we know that makes us exist today has the one beginning, which is family structure. And for those of you that are very religious, come on, if that wasn't the fact, then why would God make man and woman together to unite together? Because that was to do what? Go forth
procreate.
and multiply.
The procreate.
Family, build creation, create and multiply and build family.
Right.
So you can very well teach your kids to be independent, but family is the foundation. Where did Lisa say what get it from? And her sisters, they got it in the family structure in which they were raised in by their father. Lisa says that. Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right, my dear sister, by leaving a comment. What's going on, Maurice Delt in the house? I'll drop another link and someone wants to come up and speak. I'll probably cut this stream short today because I recognize that people are out with their family and, doing things on Father's Day. So I'll probably cut this one short. But
yeah, that's true. That's understandable. I
yeah.
mean, my wife and I, we're heading out later tonight and everything. We're hanging
Right.
out, keeping it simple and everything else. That's all. But I think the one thing I'll say this out there to a lot of people, like, I wouldn't be the father that I am if it wasn't for my dad. That I can honestly say, because I saw my dad had his own business, worked 6-7 days a week to put my brother and sister me through private school, which is not easy. And he and my mom worked together. My mother was a nurse, retired. They worked together to raise my brother, sister, and me, to put us through private school, to make sure we got a strong foundation with family and faith and education and everything else. My parents worked together. And I think sometimes that's the problem with some couples. I'm not going to say all, with some couples. They're not working together to build that family structure. Maybe because they've never had that structure growing up. Maybe only one had that structure and the other didn't. So that's what it's all about. It's about being each other's dream maker, being each other's teammate, working together, putting in 110, never less than 100. That's what it's all about. And sometimes people don't realize you have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to take that chance. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. I remember there was something my wife sent me earlier today, and it was a real powerful link. It was from an article I saw from CNN on the importance of Black fathers, on the significance, and don't believe the hype that's going on, that you see in movies and on television, in music, and so on and so forth. There are Black dads out there that love being a dad. Honestly, I can honestly say the birth of my daughter Avery was a very special day because that is when I became a dad. And I remember,
wow.
And I remember when, after she was delivered, umbilical cord was cut and everything else, my wife is still recovering from the C-section. I go into the room to see my daughter for the first time, to hear her cries and everything. And I remember the nurse that was there, that was cleaning, that was, helping as well. And it didn't dawn on me until she said it. She was the first person to say it. She says, "Congratulations, Dad." And it hit me. Like, wow, I'm a dad. I'm a father. Like, wow. I waited a long time because I honestly thought this day would never happen. Wow. And to have that was like very powerful. And I'll make this real point real quick. And the one thing that made me realize how much I love fatherhood even more.
Yes.
On my Instagram page, there's a picture of me kneeling next to my dad who's holding my daughter. And it was on Father's Day. And it was my first Father's Day.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah. And I remember the advice that I've gotten from coworkers, from friends, from family. Take plenty of pictures, enjoy the moments. You're going to have your struggles, but it's okay. And I find myself now, when I see young couples having their first child, I always say, "Congratulations, welcome to parenthood." And I high five them, let them know, like, listen, y'all going to be okay. Y'all going to be all right. Don't try to be the perfect mom and dad. Just be mom and dad. As long as you bathe your child, you hold them, you feed them, and you love them, everything else will take care of itself.
Wow. Let me say this. When I experienced seeing my daughter be born for the first time, that's when I believe manhood really starts, when you have a child. Because why? You are responsible for another living entity outside of yourself. That's when the real manhood kicks in. So seeing my daughter be born, it was me watching. This is going to sound kind of, people are religious. They talk about God. I think seeing a child being born, you're seeing God right there. You're seeing the power of God at work when your child is being born right before you.
The power of nature also.
Facts, brother. All rolled up into one. Exactly. And then when you look at your child take his first breath and you look at it and you hold it in your arms, now you realize part of what being a man is about, because you're holding in your arms responsibility.
Exactly.
You're responsible for this baby that will grow up to be an adult. So it changed my whole perspective about life, what I'm here for. And so that sticks with me to this very day, even though my daughter's 15 now, she's older now, it still stays fixed in me. And I think sometimes, like we say that women are the more emotional sex and men are the more, masculine, what have you. But what we have to understand is men and women, we all have a balance of these qualities in us. And I think at that, seeing my child being born, I was at my most emotional, because I'm watching something that I've only heard about, but to experience it for yourself is truly a blessed miracle from God. And so that from that point of view, how can any man not do what he can to be responsible for taking care of his child because you just broke your first covenant in relationship with God, because God has rewarded you with something so special that you would have to be a fool to sit up here and not do what you have to do to take care of your child the best way you know how and you can. This is what I must say to you. Now, I want to put this up, brother. This is what Lisa said about her father. She says, my dad was pretty liberal. He wanted us to get an education and not get married too young. He didn't want us to be holding to any man, but however, we all ended up married with kids. Now, most people that would see that statement, the first part of it would say, see, there they go with that independent woman stuff. But she said that all of her sisters and herself, they all ended up married. Now, this is the question I would have to ask you. Lisa says, what are the qualities that you possess and your sisters possess that make you marriage material? Because I'm sorry, I think some people are marriage material and some people are not. That
is true.
Let me also acknowledge a super chat from, let me acknowledge this. I mean, these types of conversations are difficult because it hurts some people's feelings and some people don't want to deal with it. But this is from my girl, Speak With Your Girl, Marcella, $20 super chat. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. And because you did that for me, let me go right ahead and say thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for
and let me give you this right here real quick.
Thank you for the super chat.
Information is power.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell the truth.
All right. Thank you for the super chat, Marcel. Everybody check out her channel, Speaking With Your Girl, Marcella. She's great content creator. Always gives me a lot of respect and love when I go over to her channel and check in with her over there. I appreciate the super chat. I recognize that, and I thank you. This is Father's Day. I recognize that I'm gonna end this stream early because people are out there with their fathers and families celebrating the day. But you heard a lot of what I said. I said a mouthful. I want to also thank Just Alicia for coming over, supporting the show. A 24-hour B1 network. Oh, yeah, that's my man. 24-hour B1 network. What's going on, my brother? Everybody, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be doing some work with this brother. This is the brother that has the DJ, the DJ and has the gaming channel that I was telling y'all about. But this is a new channel that he has. Make sure y'all subscribe because I'll be doing some work with him on his channel. Exclusive type stuff. So please subscribe to that channel. That's 24-hour B1 network. He wants to make the channel 24 hours with content on that channel. Wow. And I'm going to assist him in trying to get that channel going. He's brilliant though. This brother right here, actually, he has another channel. He's actually brilliant. I've had a chance to see what he does on his gaming channel. He's brilliant. So he has all the abilities. Everybody, you see Yaupo right here is the brother that I interviewed about that beautiful melanin book. Make sure you follow him and check out the latest books that he has out there on Amazon, please. Queen, I Know I Am, you gave me some love today. I appreciate that. Peggy's here. Thank you for being here. Just Alicia from Chicago, Chi-Town. Hey, Just Alicia, you're from Chicago. And I got to say this to you. Are you familiar? I was watching Vicky Diller the other day. I caught a show she did about the brother. I think he's a part of the Nation of Islam. They're trying to kick him out of being a principal of one of the schools in Chicago. And he told his whole story. It's a lot of crazy stuff happening in Chicago. And I'm going to try to get in contact with him because I want to interview him and tell his whole story here like he did on Vicky Diller's channel. So I think he has a website. I got to reach out to him, but there's a lot of funky stuff happening in Chicago in terms of how black folks are being treated out there. Yet they can give migrants $51 million just to house them for one damn month. Unbelievable.
I remember hearing about that from a friend of mine who's in Chicago. A friend of mine I went to college with. I remember him mentioning a few things about it.
It's crazy, man. Let me also do this. Someone gave me another beautiful super chat. Eugene Steele, $5 super chat. I want to wish happy Father's Day to all the men who did not run away from their divine assignment. That's deep how you said that. Those men stayed and take care of their children. Wow. Now I like that. That's powerful what you just said. So you get this.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it all. I wake up. Yeah.
I wake up, flex, I'm down now.
Check.
No drip, just
Wet.
time to run it up. No sleep, no
Rest.
might crash, might
Wreck.
but first I
Stretch.
time to run it up. I wake up,
Flex.
thumb down now.
Check.
No drip, just
Wet.
time to run it up. No sleep, no
Rest.
might crash, might
Wreck.
but first I
Stretch.
time to run it
9
up.
out of 10 rub through my hands, I'm by my lonely.
All right, my dear brother Antonio, do you have any concluding remarks today as I get ready to put a crescendo on today's show?
I say this to all the brothers out there. Happy Father's Day. To all the dads celebrating their first Father's Day.
Okay.
Welcome to the first of many. And to anyone who are looking forward to being a dad, enjoy all the moments, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent with your child. Enjoy every moment. If you live in a state like I do, my home state in New Jersey, you could take 12 weeks bonding leave. After the child is born, you have up to till the child turns 1. Take that time off. Enjoy those moments. Help that woman in your life, girlfriend, fiance, wife, help her recover from her postpartum and her recovery from giving you this special gift. And enjoy all the moments. Take plenty of pictures. And I say this to anyone out there, to anyone that wants to be a dad. There's always going to be other Father's Days, but you're never going to have a first Father's Day. So I always encourage all the new dads and the dads to be, come your first Father's Day, take that weekend off. And ladies, make sure he takes that weekend off. And ladies, you do the same thing for your first Mother's Day. You take that weekend off.
Right, brother. Let me give you a clap for that. Right. Well, good brother. Go ahead and have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you chiming on, expressing yourself. You said a lot of powerful points today, which I really appreciate. And with that said, happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there watching, everyone that watched this program today. I thank you. We recognize that it's a busy day out there in the communities across this country where people are spending time with their fathers, relaxing, what have you. So until we meet again on these YouTube streets again, brother, I will talk to you very soon. And much respect to you always.
Same here, information man. You have a good one. To everyone in the chat, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Respect one another, love one another, love each other, and just live life to the fullest. That's the best thing to say. Those are words we're thinking about.
I like that. All right, brother. All right. Okay. Let me do this. Let me say to make sure y'all check out Cooking at Pam's Place. You don't know what you're missing. Sister is doing big things over there. I think you got a 100,000 subscribership channel over there. You get really huge numbers. Great tutorials on cooking. Beautiful food. Her food looks so good. You want to jump into the, I literally want to jump right into the television or right into my cell phone or my computer and jump right in there and start eating her food. I literally want to jump right in there. Snatch it off while she's making the food. I want to snatch it right off there. Give me that. But Cooking at Pam's Place. She's beautiful. I'm very happy. Look, let me just say this. Her channel is proof positive that you can start off with a small YouTube channel and build that channel up and blow up with the proper strategies. And so I am very happy, very proud to see you at the point that you are with your channel. I'm sure you're getting a lot of, what do you call that? You're getting, I'm pretty sure you've got people who want to promote and do affiliate advertisement on your channel. Be careful with that too, because I was listening to another well-known YouTuber who got his YouTube channel almost snatched down because he gave information to a phony, someone that was disguising himself as a real company when it was phony. But I thank you for coming over today, and I also appreciate that you have gained beautiful success on the YouTube streets with your channel, what you're doing, and I hope you get 1 million subs, and you have the kind of content that you can do that because you're not doing political stuff like me. You're doing something that all people of all groups enjoy. What? Food. Food is a universal love that all people have. So for those of you out there who like football, sports, you like following what's happening with Deion Sanders in Colorado and just sports in general, make sure you subscribe to my other channel. It's doing really well, and that is Prime Sports Media. Prime Sports Media is my other channel. I've got a bunch of channels, but that channel is doing very, very, very well. And make sure you subscribe to that if you're interested. So I appreciate her, and I want people to subscribe to her channel. I appreciate All Reliable, Kendra as well, Black Youth. Let me put this up here. The Black Youth. Let me see here. The Black Youth or Exodus. I like that. That's a very powerful name. Black Youth and Exodus. I like that. Empress Goddess has a channel. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. Give her support. Kendra G, thank you for being here. And let me see here. Oh yeah, I appreciate you. I look at, and another thing, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be watching your stuff when you don't even know I'm watching. I should leave comments more. Sometimes I look at stuff I don't leave comment when I should leave a comment, but I give you a like. But I look at your YouTube shorts. They always pop up all the time because your channel's doing so well. YouTube is pushing it through the algorithms that those shorts show up and all your content shows up. So I love you. I'm going to give you 100%. I want you to get 1 million subs on that channel. I want you to be big time. No doubt. No doubt. Everybody. But I'm going to say it again. Your channel represents what a lot of people can do who have those type of channels where you're doing cooking, you're doing family type stuff, right? And you just be shocked what type of content can really blow up for you when you employ the right strategies. I know who you've been listening to. I listen to Benjamin. Benjamin, he doing them videos and he be talking real fast and be talking about this is a time for you to really grow on YouTube. The shorts and the timing to drop. I'll be watching Benjamin too. Hey, he even had you in one of his videos where he said, I helped this person get this much subscribe. I know who Benjamin is. He's cool. He's cool people. He does a great job with giving advice on his channel. Just like Roberto Blake. I have a lot of respect for Roberto Blake as well. Oh, we got Knowledge TV who just came over. I'm about to end this, folks. Happy Father's Day. Hey, Knowledge TV, thank you. I'm going to give you a clap. Let me see. And Queen of Noam says, take care, everybody, and stay safe out here. Yeah, stay safe out here. Everybody take care. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate you all coming over. This has been beautiful with you supporting the channel today and doing what you have to do. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll be back with more content. Of course, there's going to be something that will go down that I'll report on whenever there's something in the news or anything that you need to know, or you need to get a perspective that you don't get on the mainstream. We're going to do it like that over here. Thank you. Take care. Take care, everybody.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.